Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. It is once again Thirsty Thursday, and that of course means it is update day here in the world of Call of Duty. Today is actually sort of the penultimate update of Warzone 1's era, at least the penultimate weekly update that we know is guaranteed, I should say. Essentially, as far as what Ravens previewed as far as updates go to round out Warzone 1's era, today is the second to last update. We've got this patch, which is already live by the time that you guys are watching this video, and then next week's update on the 20th, which is also in the campaign early access drops for MW2. And then beyond that, we're not exactly sure what's going to be going on. We'll talk more on what should be happening here towards the end of the video. But as for today's update, this is just another standard routine weekly update. So for this one, there should be no larger download required, unless of course you just haven't jumped on since the last title update patch with Season 5 Reloaded. But when you go to log on next, after this update is live at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which again should have already happened, you'll probably get the whole update requires restart screen. You go through that, you're good to go. Everything will be automatically applied for this one. Starting first with our update this week, we actually have a very interesting playlist update, what I'm dubbing the Supreme update, because we have our final new mode for Warzone 1 known as Rebirth Resurgence Supreme, which we'll obviously get to here. But first up, we do have some modes for Caldera, obviously. We've got standard battle royale, duos, trios, and quads. No solos this week for that, because we actually have a solos LTM in the form of Champion of Caldera, which, as you'll remember, we've had a couple of times up until this point. This essentially makes it so that you always spawn in right away with your loadout in hand. So whatever loadout you choose in the pregame, you're going to get that right away. You can fly in with that and actually fry some players out of the sky if they're pulling their shoot and slow falling. So always be on the lookout for that. But then as the game goes on, the zones are not split up to zone 1, zone 2, zones 3 and 4, 5, so on and so forth. It is one continuous zone that is always moving in from the time the first timer starts for that. So this basically forces everyone to move around a lot more. It speeds up the pace of play a ton. It's definitely a very nice twist on solos gameplay. So we've got that going on for solos specifically. We also have a new LTM, or not so much of a new LTM, but an additional LTM for quads in the form of Iron Trials, which obviously is the increased health, the different ground loot, the different spawn loot as well with the sledgehammer and everything. So we have that going on. Always a big fan of Iron Trials because the engagements are so different. The weapons are always different as far as what's super competitive and meta, if you will. And then finally for Caldera, we also have Golden Plunder quads as well. So a little bit of something going on for everyone on Caldera specifically. Then we jump over to the small maps for Fortune's Keep. We just have Resurgence solos and trios this week, so a bit more limited on Fortune's Keep than we have been in the past couple of weeks. And that's because on Rebirth, as mentioned, we've got Resurgence Supreme for solos, duos, trios, and quads. So we've got all squad sizes going on for that, because this is obviously the main featured mode, but it's only going to be live for this week. Come next week on the 20th, Resurgence Supreme is gone. So this is a super limited time mode. Usually we see the new ones stick around for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time. For whatever reason, that's not the case this time. By the way, as we are going through all the changes with today's update and sort of what's going on here in the near future, if you guys are new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, and around 51% of viewers are not already subscribed. So if that's you and you want to always guarantee you are up to date, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, as we are on the road to 1 million. And if you guys enjoyed this video, a like rating would be seriously appreciated. It does really help the channel grow. Now, as for Rebirth Resurgence Supreme, the rule set here is what differentiates this and any other standard Rebirth mode. We did go over this earlier on this week, so we'll keep it brief here, but essentially the tension is increased in this mode. The Resurgence countdown itself for the respawns is longer, but yes, you can still continue to respawn so long as one member of your team is alive, whether that's you or a teammate. As long as that timer can hit 0, you'll be able to maintain your team's position in game. But the timer itself, like I said, is longer. There's also a health increase to 200 base health, so that time to kill gonna be a little bit longer now, so definitely keep that in mind. Also now, finishing is very important in this mode. Getting that cleanup on your knock or getting that full kill there is super important, because when you get an elimination, it now shows enemy squad locations as that ping on the minimap for a longer period of time. So you're going to gain more information in this mode than in standard Resurgence. Now, like I mentioned, that resurgence countdown timer for respawns is longer than ever. However, actions now reduce the countdown twice as fast, which sort of offsets it. Kind of a weird thing to do, but you know, when you're opening chests, completing contracts, doing all that stuff, it will make that countdown go down even faster. And if you end up avenging a squad mate or getting that trade, that's going to greatly reduce the countdown. So this mode really promotes getting as many kills as possible, moving around, and you know, being as active as possible in game. There's also different loot for this as well. The ground loot is going to be fan favorite weapons and super rare blueprints as well. The lowest rarity is epic, so it's going to be all super high tier loot. You also can deploy with better weapons as well. They say it's iconic and powerful weapons, and all the weapons are going to have the most legendary skins as well. So the ground loot's going to be a ton of fun, and the gameplay itself is going to be very interesting. And if you end up getting a victory with more than 15 eliminations, you get a special calling card for this mode as well. So if you're interested, be sure to jump into Rebirth Resurgence Supreme, as it's only live until the 20th. Now, per usual, you guys know the drill. If you're an active viewer here on the channel, with the update days, we always go ahead and take a look at the Trello board to see what exactly Raven's working on. No surprises here, because this is essentially the end of Warzone here. We're in the final few updates. Not much going on here. There's no more XP events listed. Our last XP event ended at the start of the week this week, back on Monday. The only thing we find here is the same private match issue that's been here since the end of August, so no real changes there. That said, as we do officially approach the final real days of Warzone before MW2 drops here, I really wouldn't expect too much in terms of, you know, frequent updates on the Trello board, even frequent updates in game. While Warzone 2 obviously is not dropping until November 16th, and we have that, you know, 2.5 week period from MW2's launch on the 28th to then, Warzone is really not going to be the main focus here. It's probably going to get a few playlist updates here and there, maybe a one-off like weapon update of some kind to do some more tuning or attachment updates. If that ends up happening, I will be covering it here on the channel pending what day it does happen, but I wouldn't expect anything, you know, super routine to be happening once MW2 drops, because all eyes, all focus is going to be on that. That's where Activision wants all the attention, right? So Warzone 1 definitely going to be very, you know, monotonous, I would say, from now up until November 16th when Warzone 2 drops. That said, speaking of Warzone 2 and MW2, we do have a new Modern Warfare related leak that I wanted to throw in here at the end, because I'm sure many of you will be pretty interested in this. The Rose skin. Obviously, one of the more controversial updates in Warzone's history. It was a very sought after skin for a long time because it allowed you to blend in to the various shadowy and dark spots on the maps, basically made you invisible in some gunfights. Well, a leaked operator list dropped for MW2 and Warzone 2, and you'll never guess who was on that list. That is right, Rose. And apparently it's going to be a similar looking Rose skin to the one that is the most iconic here in Warzone. So Rose skin 2.0 could be dropping in MW2 and Warzone 2. Hopefully not in as broken of a way as we saw initially with Warzone 1 and MW 2019. For that though, we are going to have to wait and see, but definitely some interesting news there. Now, today it was also announced sort of out of the blue that we're going to get campaign rewards as well. This initially was not in today's video, by the way. They sort of dropped this as I was getting ready to render this video, surprisingly enough. But yeah, there's going to be some brand new campaign rewards for the early access campaign period, which is pretty cool. So these can be earned at any time by completing missions within the MW2 campaign. But obviously, if you beat the campaign before the game comes out, then you can take advantage of all these rewards right away, right at launch, which is pretty exciting. So essentially, they offer a bunch of different stuff, different operator stuff, different weapon blueprints, emblems, XP tokens, all sorts of stuff like that. Like, this is definitely something that has not been done before, so something worth taking advantage of in my opinion. Here's everything you can actually end up unlocking. You get the Soap's Determination calling card, a new emblem, a 30-minute double XP token, a 30-minute double weapon XP token, another new calling card chain links, the Choi operator, more double XP and double weapon XP, the calling card for Gaz, the base operator of Nova, an hour of double XP and double weapon XP, a new Shadow Company calling card, the Reyes base operator, another hour of double XP and double weapon XP, and the base operator of Hutch as well. And if you end up completing the full campaign and get everything unlocked there, then you get the Union Guard weapon blueprint as well, which has a handful of different attachments on it. So definitely some very exciting stuff for actually playing the campaign this year. There's more of an incentive other than just completing the story. That said, that does effectively conclude this video. Those are the penultimate update changes for Warzone. If you guys enjoyed, let me know by dropping a like on the video itself. It is really appreciated. And if you are new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with news, updates, leaks, loadouts, tips, you name it. If it has to do with COD, MW2, Warzone 2, Warzone 1, you're going to find it right here. So feel free to hit that sub button to always stay up to date. And if you guys want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. And the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.